know people judge my marriage, but 2 of our girls are getting divorced, and so their equation obviously didn't work.
1, 2, 3.
My marriage is ticking along just fine and dandy. The divorce word has never come up yet. We're ticking along fine.
Karen from Indianapolis emailed BravoTV.com and said, Alexis, you can use the Bible to justify anything. The fact is your marriage is medieval. Is being cherished worth the price of being so subservient?
My marriage isn't subservient. And I like to explain it like this. This is my best analogy so people understand my marriage better. If you have a rose garden, the foundation is the dirt. If you don't water that foundation and water that dirt, your roses are not going to grow and blossom and be beautiful.
Why do you think...
That's what we do. We water our marriage, and our marriage is very important to us.
Why do some viewers think your marriage is medieval?
I think that our marriage is a lot more towards traditional. I mean, it really is. We do follow more traditional ways, but when you look at my life now, you know, it's 7 years later, and now I have a full-time career and a dress line, and I have all these things going, so we have to make changes because I can't just be Bev Cleaver at home, or June Cleaver, whatever her name is. And
June.
Peggy, you know Jim and Alexis intimately. Where do you weigh in on all this?
I think that, you know, they do have a very traditional marriage, and I respect that if that's what works for them. I feel like, you know, for me personally, I think I couldn't be with somebody like Jim just in the sense that he wants it his way, and that's just how I see it.
You said the problem with liberal America is that women think that they can do anything in this day and age, including running for president. When your daughters grow up, would you discourage them from running for president?
My children, I want them to do whatever they want to do. If whatever it is, I'm going to support them 100%. But I feel more comfortable when a man is running my country.
Why?
I could run the country probably better than what's going on right now.
So men are smarter than women?
Not at all. I don't think men are smarter than women. Women can do anything they want. Women can do anything they want. I lived on my own. I supported myself. I'm not saying they shouldn't be allowed to. I'm saying, in my opinion, I feel safer with a man running my country.
What do you think?
Oh, don't get me started on that whole thing. No.
Why?
I appreciate her traditional values, and I get what she's saying, because I was raised in a very strict Christian home too, but I'm a very liberated woman, so I don't agree with necessarily what she's saying, but I'm not going to sit here and argue that.
You are so pageant today, I can't even get over it.
Should I get a crown and be called a princess?
Yes. Lauren from Columbus, Ohio says, Tamra, you're right about Jim being so much like Simon. Alexis is in denial about her husband's controlling ways. Do you still believe that Simon and Jim have something in common?
I do. I do. I think I see a lot of the way Jim talks to you, and I always said with Simon, it's not your message, it's your delivery. It's not what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. And I think sometimes he comes across as arrogant, degrading, and disrespectful.
So what do you...
He's not being arrogant or mean intentionally, if he ever is. And I don't see what Tamra sees, but the other part that I have to say to that is, if she noticed that, or if you noticed that, why wouldn't you come to me, grab my hand and said, I'm worried for you, or I am
worried for you.
But if you're worried for me, why would you say all that behind my back? And if you have the right to do that, why wouldn't you have said that to me that minute we were sitting there having martinis?
I did. I told you.
You
I
never
see a
said
lot
I'm
of
worried
it.
for you, Tamra.
And you said no because you got defensive, Alexis. You're like, no, no.
Simon and Jim are a lot alike. They're a lot alike.
Really?
I think they are.
I don't see that.
You can't continue to be controlled your whole life.
Okay, give me more money. Okay, I'll do it.
The only similarity that there is between Jim and Simon is that they both like a traditional marriage.
You can have traditional marriage without control.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if my husband tried to control me, I wouldn't be with him. And I sure in the heck wouldn't be doing
But
this
don't you
career.
honestly feel, too, that, like, your demeanor in that conversation with Alexis in that moment, at least from me watching as an outsider, I felt like you might have been like, well, I think I see the two of them together. But then when you went into your interview, I mean, you said some really harsh things.
I don't think he's a nice person. I think he's rude. I think he's mean.
I'm just wondering, Vicky and Gretchen, you've both hung out with Simon. You've both hung out with Jim. Do you see similarities between Simon and Jim? Vicky?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Neither one of them are bad people, but
the journey that Tamra took is not a good journey with a controlling husband. It's not. And it's going to take a toll on your marriage.
That's why we're watering our marriage so much.
You were married 16 years. I was married 17 years. You guys have been married 7. So talk to me in 10 years.
Why are you guys so freaking concerned about their marriage? But beyond what you... Okay, here's my thing. If you guys were really her friend, if you really cared about her and where she is in 10 years and how her marriage is, then you would not say and talk crap about her behind her back.
Gretchen, I see your point, but I'd also like to say that for me personally, you know, I've tried to talk to Alexis several times about issues with us, and she does get defensive, and she never really, I felt like, gave me a straight answer. So this is why maybe they didn't come to you, because they were feeling that experience as well.